Greetings, fellow Planeswalkers.
I'm James.
And I'm Paul.
And you're listening to the newest episode of the Commander at Arms podcast. This week on the podcast, we are talking about all the new Secret Lairs that are about to drop in the next, 10 days or so from the time of recording. But before that, we have our upkeep trigger. I want to thank all the patrons who support us and give all of your love and support and help us create content for your eyes and your ears. Now we have interesting mail days and fines, and I totally messed that up. It's not interesting mail days, it's mail days and interesting fines. Paul, have you found anything or bought anything fun, explosive, or delicious?
Yes, actually, I bought a couple things against my better judgment. So first of all, I bought the Super Drop, the one that had the Stranger Things and all that stuff in it. Realistically speaking, I probably should have just bought the Stranger Things one, but there were a couple things in there that I don't mind having, I guess. So I figured, you know what, why not? And recently, I actually also had an opportunity to purchase the Signet, the Allied and Enemy Signets Secret Lair. Obviously, that one expired a while ago, and I missed it at the time. I just really couldn't afford to do so. But I had an opportunity a couple days ago to actually purchase that. So I did so, and really I just want them for my cube because they're going to look really pretty and nice in there. And yeah, those I'm assuming that'll be shipping sometime within the next couple days, and hopefully I have a better mail day next week.
That's a lot better mail day than I have. I have my pre-order Thalia Guardian of Thraben coming in from Crimson Vow, which hopefully should be here either right now in my letterbox, and I haven't looked today because I've been busy doing other things all morning. And I also have a Mystery Booster foil Boreal Druid coming.
Ooh.
Because I was doing stuff in my head, and I really wanted a Boreal Druid, and they're only a couple bucks. I think I spent like $5 on it for a foil. I was like, yeah, I can justify $5 for a card I'm going to play in like 7 of my decks. So I specifically went with the foil version because I want to pimp out Tulane as much as possible, and that's the deck where that's going to go into first. And then we'll see how we go. I couldn't really do I think it's Ice Age or Cold Snap that card came out of originally. I don't think they had foils back then, didn't they?
Yeah, back then it came out in Cold Snap.
Yeah,
and yeah, there were foils in there.
Just like possibly very expensive. Yeah, they're like 7th edition rare foils where they're black bordered and they're like 700,000% more expensive than the regular card.
Yeah, look up a 7th edition Birds of Paradise regular and foil, and tell me what you think about that foil multiplier.
Don't do it. It's a trap. 100% a trap. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's like $20 for a regular one, and then the foil one is like $2,500, almost $3,000.
Jesus. Yeah, so that's it for mail day. Nothing really spicy for myself. Just getting pre-orders and a mana dork. I love mana dorks so much. They're like my favorite kind of creature in Magic. That and anything with a really cool ETB. Anyway, moving on in our upkeep trigger here, we have our. I actually got the pleasure of streaming with Alan from Mental Misplay, our mate Kev from the GMGC, and Corey from the Commander crew. As you know, 2 out of 3 of those guys have been on the show. We're going to try and get Alan on the show eventually as well. Maybe he can drop some of his hot takes that he has about Commander on our show. Got to play with them last Tuesday night, and we had a pretty spicy, fun game. I believe the VOD is actually going to be up on Alan's channel on YouTube, so not going to shout out our own channel here, but I will. But definitely go and check out that VOD on Mental Misplay's YouTube channel. Go and see how I did. And I'm not going to spoil the outcome of that game or anything, but it was very fun. I will say that. And then, yeah, check out our YouTube channel as well. You're either listening to this audio only on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get better podcasts. But don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/commanderatarms. You'll find the video version of this podcast as well as deck techs and unboxings whenever we can get our hands on some sealed product for you guys. Other than that, we have Play of the Week. Paul, have you played any Magic in the last 2 weeks?
I haven't played Magic in so long. It's been like over a month for me. So long, in fact, that the other day I actually took out Marisol and solitaired it for a few hands just to remember what it was like to hold and play Magic cards.
That's so... I don't want to say sad and depressing, but that's so like... That's heart-wrenching. Like, that makes me feel like I need to just come over there and console you a little bit and just hold you in my arms and tell you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Paul.
It's just been, for anybody out there who listens, there's been a bunch of stuff going on. You probably noticed already, but we didn't upload this past week. I've just been really busy. My work schedule got shifted from, I used to be 9 to 5, now I'm 11 to 7. So I go to the gym in the morning and then I get off work at 7. Usually not available till like 8 because I have to eat dinner and cook it. And then I now have a second job on Saturdays that I'm working 12 hours every Saturday. So I've just been a busy boy. And yeah, it's just, it's been hard, but don't worry. We're doing our best.
You're a hard-working boy, like a Birds of Paradise in every CDH deck.
Yeah, I needed the second job so I can spoil myself like the king I am with all these Secret Lairs coming out.
I mean, we have a lot to talk about here with the upcoming Secret Lairs. Some of them really good. Some of them pretty... How you going? I don't have a play of the week this week. My only play was something that happened during the VOD, the stream game with Mental Misplay. So go and check that out. And then you tell me, you go and tell us on Twitter at CMDR@arms on Twitter what you think my play of the week was. Cause it was a hilarious moment that I got to get the table with my favorite card in Old Gnawbone.
Basic Forest?
Yes, 100%. No one suspected the Basic Forest play turn 1. But moving on, we're going to pass through to our main phase 1 here. We're going to start playing our forests and our Soul Rings. And we're going to jump into one of the first Secret Lairs that is actually pre-ordering right now. So this is going to come out in a couple of days or so hopefully you haven't missed it. If you have, I apologize, but we wanted to talk about it. It was the Secret Lair Cross Mischief Secret Lair, which comes with 5 cards. Comes with the Swords to Plowshares, a Grim Tutor, a Blood Moon, a Cut to Ribbons, and a Teferi's Puzzle Box, all with special different kinds of foils.
Yeah, pretty unique foiling processes based on what I can see here. You've also probably seen this advertised by certain content creators I know got this layer to advertise. Not us, though. Wizards.
Yeah, Wizards aren't liking this for like...
Yeah, they don't like Australians, I guess.
Yeah, it's the funny accent, weird meat, side of rice, I guess. I don't know. They just don't like the way that I portray like their product in our content. Yeah, I mean, no. I'm going to talk to Gavin, and I know Gavin's not on the Secret Lair team, but I'll be like, hey man, if there's any time that, the Secret Lair team is doing like a Rhino-based Secret Lair, we have to get it. Like, I want that preview. Like, I want it so bad to be like, check out my rhinos.
Jokes aside, this Secret Lair is actually a pretty good one. The art is like a little wonky, but it's pretty. Well, actually, that's the word I was looking for. It's pretty. The cards themselves are pretty. The cards, like the actual cards, are good. There's Swords to Plowshares. Can never have enough Swords to Plowshares. Ask anybody who's been playing Magic for any amount of time. Swords to Plowshares, amazing. Grim Tutor, not the best tutor, but a tutor is a tutor. Again, you're going to play pretty much whatever tutors you can get your hands on most of the time. Blood Moon, not a very nice card, but those mono red players, they need all the help they can get. So Blood Moon's a decent card to have, especially since it's playable in like just a bunch of formats, not just Commander. Cut to Ribbons is probably like the odd man out on this one. Not really sure about that one. But it also comes with Teferi's Puzzle Box, which is a sick card. Don't think it's ever been printed in foil, if I'm not mistaken. Might be wrong about that. Actually, I am wrong about that, because I think it got printed in like 8th edition or something like that. I can't remember. I think I got printed in a core set with a foil thing. But this is its first like cool like special printing. And Teferi's Puzzle Box sees played in a lot of different decks. You usually see it in like Nekusar, but sometimes you'll see it in like Grenzo, Dungeon Warden, the red-black one. Because you can choose the order that you put the cards on the bottom, and then you can stack it with Grenzo, whatever.
That's disgusting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's some hot, spicy tech.
You see it in Locust God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a bunch of different stuff. And I think the bonus card in this one, James was telling me, was a plains that like you peel it and it becomes Battlefield Forage or something like that.
Yeah, I was, because I saw this on Instagram for the first time through a couple of content creators, and I went, oh, that's really cool. And then, like, I got a notification a couple hours later from Reddit, and it was like, hey, check this out. And it was a video of a guy, like, actually peeling, well, okay, I don't know if it was a guy or not. It was a video of someone who was peeling off the planes, and because it's, like, and on the back, it's got, like, a golf course or something, and it's, like, something to do with golf, and then it's like a Battlefield Forge, which is the Boros Painland, which I thought was hilarious, and now I really want that planes, just for reasons, because I play golf, and I like golf, and I like the crossing of golf into Magic.
Yeah, the Battlefield Forge, like, while unexpected, is also not a bad card to have. You know, lands are always useful, no matter what they are. So overall, I'd say, like, this one is shooting 5 for 6 in my book. There are 5 solid, really playable cards in here.
And then a basic planes.
Well, it's a Battlefield Forge, right?
Yeah, well, it's either or. It can be a planes or a Battlefield Forge.
So honestly, this one is probably worth the investment. I think it's what, $40 this one?
Yeah, I believe so as well.
Oh, a little steep on the price tag, but you do get some cool looking cards, especially if you're a cube person that really likes to have fancy Swords to Plowshares for that. It's not a bad idea. Grim Tutor, again, really good commander card. This is probably one of the better ones that they have made overall.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited to talk about the next one. That's the one where I'm holding all my.
Yeah, let's just all right. Yeah. Mischief. It's okay, but let's get to the next one here.
Yeah. I mean, there's some pretty cool cards. I mean, you've probably already seen them. It's pre-ordering right now. Go and check it out if you want it. The next one, I didn't expect to see at all, and I saw the very first card spoiled for this, which was Unstable Harmonics, which is a bit of a nod to which card was spoiled first. And I thought, that's a little strange. That kind of looks like the brand new Arcane League of Legends Netflix show that just dropped and is almost finished its season 1. And yes, that is right. Secret Lair is crossing over with Arcane League of Legends Riot Studios to bring us a Secret Lair, all to do with Vi and Jinx's, and I guess Jace and Caitlyn's origin story on what they did before they were in the League of Legends video game. So you get 7 cards in this one. It is Path to Exile, Rhystic Study as Unstable Harmonics. You get a Duress, a Seize the Day as round 2. Now, we're not sure exactly what that is because it hasn't been spoiled yet of what the artwork looks like. A Croson Grip as Denting Blows, which is, as all League players will know, that is Vi's W, her passive W. You get a Counterflux and a Thran Dynamo as the Hex Core.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the Hex Core for spoiler reasons because I'm sure that there's at least somebody who listens to this who may or may not have seen all of Arcane, which, by the way, as of this recording, the last 3 episodes just uploaded, which I'll be watching directly after this.
Yes, so will I. I will be telling the wife that I have prior engagements, and that is to watch a TV show about a video game that I play.
This, like, even if it was just Path to Exile and Rhystic Study, already worth it. Even if it was just Rhystic Study, actually. Not only is it using a different art for like the first time since its Judge promo printing, but it's also, you can get it in foil, which is not something that is particularly easy to come by or cheap to come by these days. It's got great art. You're also getting Path to Exile, eternally playable. Duress, again, this is a fantastic cube card. Also sees play in like Legacy and Vintage as a side deck against combo decks and like Storm and stuff. Seize the Day. All you Feather players out there, speak up. Croson Grip, eternally playable again. I bet the art for that one's going to be really sick too when they show it to us. Counterflux, the best counter spell that you're not playing, I promise you. And Thran Dynamo. Foil Thran Dynamos are actually like, they're not too pricey, but they are a little expensive. And getting one that is flavored for Arcane, the art for this one's pretty cool, by the way, is pretty sick. And, there are some people that still play Thran Dynamo. I know there's a lot of naysayers out there that say it's too slow, but to you, I say that only sometimes you're right.
I play it, but I play it in mono red artifacts. It's a combo piece in that deck. It makes me infinite colorless mana.
Well, I just think it's a good card in general.
Oh,
Yeah, like
totally.
I said, like even if this was just Rhystic Study, already worth the price tag. So this is one that if you have a spare $30, $40 lying around and you want something that's for sure going to be bang for your buck, you'd pay $30 for a Rhystic Study anyway. Get 6 more cards with it.
Yeah. And I mean, if you don't like the artwork, just do the old binder proxy treatment if you want to.
Or trade someone for theirs. Like,
yeah, just be like,
I'm sure
hey.
you'll be able to find somebody that's like, oh yeah, I'll trade my regular Rhystic Study for yours. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because I think Rhystic Study, outside of like its original printing, which is Prophecy, you've got the Jumpstart version, you've got the Mystery Booster version, and I believe they're all around like the $40 mark.
Yeah, and they all use the exact same art. The only one that has different art is the Judge promo.
Yeah, which is like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I think it's like I think it might actually be around 100 right now.
That's not terrible if you want that Judge promo, but why would you get that when you can just get this Secret Lair that gives you, 6 other cards for virtually free? Now, it's not going to say that, a single of the Rhystic Study is going to be $30, $40 like the other versions, but it might be, because, I mean, who knows what's going to happen to the secondary market when these cards do hit the secondary market. We're not a finance podcast. Don't know much about the finance side of things, but I mean, at face value, you're getting 6 extra cards for no price and you're buying a really cool Rhystic Study. And Rhystic Study is a card that you're going to be playing in 9 times out of 10 most of the decks that you have blue in them. Because let's be honest, I'm not saying it's a staple, because you can definitely stay away from Rhystic Study if you want to, but it is definitely a very high playable card.
Yeah, not to mention, we don't actually know if there is a bonus card with this one, and if there is, what it will be, which is also something to consider. Also, I guess this is a decent time to talk about this. We don't actually, Secret Lairs have a chance apparently of coming with like one of these reversible or these mirror printed collectible cards, which people have been talking about. Me and James are reading off a script, and I actually just remembered that I forgot to put that in here. Whoops, sorry, James.
No, it's the mirrored foil Viscera, which you showed me a picture of it yesterday when we were kind of sliding into each other's DMs. And I was like, it looks super weird because they've just mirrored the Viscera. So the casting cost is on the left instead of the right hand corner, and that just threw me off. And it's got a little like where they have the old pre-release dates on the bottom right hand corner of the artwork. They now have a number out of 100 because they've only printed 100 of these cards. And now don't be going and cracking as many Secret Lairs as you can to try and find this lottery card.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. Please don't do that.
Again, not a finance, but the last time we saw it go to auction, it was like $1,500 for this one card. And I have a Viscera. I have 7 Viscera actually, and I'm cool with my non-foil regular Viscera because, yeah, I mean, I'm a collector. Through and through, I'm a collector. But I don't know if I can justify $1,500 USD for a card that costs me 25 cents for a regular.
Yeah, I feel like I'd rather just buy like a heavily played or damaged Mox at that point.
Yeah.
Instead of
I mean,
Viscera.
If you get, like, realistically, right, like, if you were to invest in something, I'd go with the dual lands, like the OG dual lands. Like, I know you've got some of them, Paul. I know you got some for like considerably cheaper than what they're going for right now. But I mean, they're normally going for about like that 1,000 mark at the moment. So I mean, if you were going to get something, invest in like a dual land, because if then it's only going to go up in price from there, and it's probably a little bit easier to come by a like moderately played, kind of decently played dual land. But
yeah, I'm just going to clarify that James isn't saying to do that. He's just saying instead of the $1,500 Viscera, I wouldn't do either personally. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I like, don't go, oh, James from Commander at Arms told me to go and do this. That's not what that was. It was just like I'm looking at it as like $1,500 for a card that is 25 cent common from like Commander Legends, which is not even, I think it's just gone out of print now, but will get printed from now into eternity because it's Viserys here, versus a card that only got printed during the early stages of Magic's history and will never be reprinted again because they are reserve list cards. But that rant aside, let's move on to the next Secret Lair here, Paul. We're going to move into Welcome to Castle Dracula. So we did just get Crimson Vow, which released yesterday as of this recording, the 19th of November. And we got a Secret Lair to kind of go with that, and it is Welcome to Dracula's Castle. You get 3 cards in here. They've all been given the Godzilla like artwork kind of treatment, So it is a special art with, the name underneath, kind of like what we're used to with getting the Godzilla cards. They did it for some cards in Crimson Vow as well. They've done it with, when we said like the last one, as a heuristic study as Unstable Harmonics. If you look at the artwork, you'll see what I mean. So you get Exquisite Blood as Hunger of the Ancient One. You get Night's Whisper as Night Feeder's Visitation. And you get Phyrexian Tower as Dracula's Tomb.
Big fan of this one. Actually, 3 like really solid, very playable cards. Night's Whisper, popular cube card, great commander card. I'm a big advocate for this one. You also sometimes see it, I think, in like Modern. Sometimes, I think. Phyrexian Tower, big time playable card. I don't think you see it as much in other formats as you do in Commander. Exquisite Blood. This card was ridiculously expensive. Like insanely expensive, and it only got a reprint in Jumpstart. Before that, it was in Innistrad and never seen again. So honestly, 3 really solid playable cards. This is a little on the light side for the price tag, but Exquisite Blood also right now is literally a $30-$40 card. So kind of the same principle as the heuristic study argument, except you're getting a little less bang for your buck. I'll be curious if there is a bonus card with this one. Not sure what it would be, but if there is, that's just a little more value added onto it, because as it stands, these 3 cards are just really, really good.
Yeah, Phyrexian Tower, I believe, is like a $17 card in its original printing, because I looked for one for Taste Karlov, because I was like, that's a really good card, tap it, sack a creature, add 2 black mana to your mana pool. That's solid. Then I looked at the price tag and went, I think I'll just stick with high market on this one. I mean, you sack a creature in game 1 life, but you're still sacking a creature. So, yeah, definitely 3 extremely playable cards in Commander. Night's Whisper is a, 2 mana sorcery, draw 2, lose 2, still good. Exquisite Blood goes in Veto, so you can infinitely drain the table with Sanguine Bond / Exquisite Blood or Exquisite Veto combo. And Phyrexian Tower just goes in every single aristocrat style deck, or any deck that wants to be able to get stuff off the board. I mean, even decks that want to be able to take your opponent's cards or creatures and then sacrifice them at the beginning of the end step so they don't go back to your opponents. This card helps with that as well and ramps you an extra 2 mana. Yeah. I mean, if they do a bonus card with this one, maybe it's going to be Viserys here. You didn't hear it here first, though.
That feels a little cheeky. But
I mean, it's a full mono black Secret Lair, as if you wouldn't add the Viserys here in here. Anyway, I wouldn't get your hopes up to get a Viserys here in this one. That joke is now dead. Let's move on, shall we? So the last one we're going to talk about here before we move to our combat phase and swing out all of our damage at Paul. We have, what is this one called? I've got Fibble Flip on the script here, but I think it's something called like Fibble Flip.
It's like Fibble Flip completely, totally, utterly lost. Or
yeah, that's it. There you go. I was going to fumble my way through that super hardcore. You get, I believe this is 5 cards. You get a border. So they're all borderless because it is full, I was going to say panharmonic.
Panoramic.
Yeah, panoramic. So they're a full panoramic art style, so you lay them all next to each other and it kind of shows, like one big old picture. You get a borderless Path to Exile, Well of Lost Dreams, Frantic Search, Intruder Alarm, and Shelldock Isle.
Personally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of this one. The cards themselves are obviously pretty good. Frantic Surge, Path to Exile, Intruder Alarm, all very playable. Shelldock Isle for all the mill decks out there, and Well of Lost Dreams for any of you life gainers out there. But the art on them, they look so similar that it kind of ruins the uniqueness. Like, it looks they blend in too much with each other. Like, I was telling James before we started recording that if you look at Frantic Search and Intruder Alarm next to each other, because they are panoramic, they're all in like the Where's Waldo style.
That hurts me.
They have the same mana cost and they're the same color. They look like the same card if you just place them right next to each other. I would have to actually pick them both up and look at them to see which one is which.
Saying Where's Waldo hurts me more than this art style. Because I mean, as anyone in Australia, or I'm assuming probably in Europe, knows, it's Where's Wally. And it's for some reason different here in the States, which always I just wanted to add that little side note here in the podcast. But yeah, they've all got like the Where's Waldo / Where's Wally effect to it. They seem very busy. But I mean, if you're into those kind of style books and you like that, like, you know, like repeated art kind of all the through, I will say the upside to this, is the fact that if you look very carefully at the cards, they have other cards in them. So like Niv Mizzet's in there, Deathrite Shaman's in there from what I saw, Jace Beleren is in there as well. You can see like little nods to other Magic cards in like that cartoony style of like Where's Waldo, which I think is really cool. Like, I love that they did that, but I mean, yeah, if you look at the Intruder Alarm side by side to the Frantic Search, they're so similar because they're also right next to each other in the panoramic scene that you wouldn't really know which one's which. You could be playing like, you know, like if you're looking at it in your hand, you'd have to look at the card name and be like, oh, that's Frantic Search, not Intruder Alarm, and not this like whiffle slap down and in a Frantic Search thinking it's Intruder Alarm. But in that said, overall, for the cards they've picked, I like this. I like Path to Exile because, I mean, it is, as we said before, it's eternally played. Intruder Alarm's great for combo decks. Frantic Search also really good for spell slinging decks and storm decks because it can get you through more of your library to discard things that untap lands. Fantastic. And yeah, that's about really all I have to say about the Fibble Flip Completely and Utterly Totally Lost, because I'm completely utterly totally lost at looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind the art, it's a fine Secret Lair.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think one of the cool parts about Secret Lairs is the fact that each card can feel really unique. You know, like look at every other Secret Lair and compare it to that one, and you'll see that like they look so similar that whole principle is ruined. It's not really that unique because each one of them looks exactly the same as the other ones. So I don't know. It's not for me, but if you can get past the art, the actual cards themselves are like pretty decent.
Anyway, we're going to move to our combat phase, and I'm going to swing all of my rhinos at you, Paul. How do you wish to block?
I'm going to play Comeuppance.
Damn it. All right, then. I see how it is. And with that, we're going to go hear a message from our sponsors right now. Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion / fumbling through all the brand new Secret Lairs that are upcoming and or pre-ordering right now as the time of this episode's release. We have 3 more to talk about before we're out of here for the week. The first one we're going to talk about here in this main phase 2. Paul, are you excited? Because I am mildly excited. This is it's Crocodile Jackson's Menagerie. Crikey, I was really wish this was Crocodile Hunter's Menagerie, because then it'd just be like, you know, big old crocodiles and stuff. As an Australian, as a native Australian, born and raised, I love the name of this one. Let's get into the cards that are in this, and then we'll talk about how we feel about it. So we get, what's this, 5 more cards with possibly a bonus card. So we get Ravenous Chupacabra, Managorger Hydra, Pathbreaker Ibex, Teema Sabertooth, and Winding Constrictor.
Honestly, probably like the most lackluster lair that is available or will be available soon. The cards themselves, not great. Like Managorger Hydra is good, and Teema Sabertooth is good. The other 3, like the Pathbreaker Ibex, the Ravenous Chupacabra, the Winding Constrictor, not great. And the art on all of these is like also not really for me, and I assume that some people, or at least most people might feel the same way. It's just a little too blah. It's a little too bland. With the exception of Winding Constrictor. I like the art on that one. So this one is pretty much a heavy miss for me. For the same reason, not for the same reason, but like just like Fibblethip before it. It's just not really a style that I can really get behind. And the cards themselves, like I said, are mediocre at best, with the exception of Menagerie Hydra, which is actually pretty good.
See, I really want to disagree there, because I still rate Pathbreaker Ibex as a good finishing card. Like, it's not Crater Hoof good, but it's still definitely, like, okay.
Well, James, I have a question for you. What decks do you play Pathbreaker Ibex in?
I used to play it in my my old, what was that deck? It was the Heart of Kled deck. Kled Me Dead.
Rada.
I used to play it in Rada.
Yeah, do you play anywhere right now?
Not currently, but I mean,
but it's a good card.
I mean, it's an attack trigger, is it not? I mean, it's got its place, Paul, okay?
I'm just messing with you.
I know you are, but Pathbreaker Ibex, it's
okay.
got its place. I mean, Tamer Sabertooth is also a really good card. I mean, 2 mana to bounce a creature. That creature may or may not be Dockside Extortionist. Just play it again with the treasures that you created. Go infinite.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. That's
I mean,
pretty much
it's also
the only reason why I'm saying Tamer Sabertooth is pretty good is because it rebuys your ETBs.
Yeah, and I mean, one of those ETBs is Ravenous Chupacabra. I mean, it's a ETB destroy target creature.
Sure. I mean, I guess that's good. There's definitely no other better ways of doing that, though.
I feel your sarcasm. I mean, look, honestly, is Ravenous Chupacabra the best way of doing that effect? No. But is it something that could be part of a menagerie? Yes. Because,
sure, yeah, it's an animal.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, don't take our word if you're going to pick this one up, because, like, obviously, I'm going to leave this one alone. I don't need any of these cards particularly. I already have most of these cards on the list here, and the ones that I don't have, I don't really need at this time. Like, I have an Ibex, I have a Tamer Sabertooth, I have a Menagerie Hydra, and I have a Winding Constrictor. So the one I'm missing is a Ravenous Chupacabra, and I'm good. I mean, if I want one, I'll just get from the M19, I believe that one was reprinted in.
I think I actually gave you that Tamer Sabertooth.
Yeah, I think you did. Because you gave it to me for the Morphs deck, so I could rebuy my Morphs.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And now it's in my deck. Which one? I can't remember. Oh, it's in Old Gnawbone, so I can buy back some of my big stuff, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's in that one. I can't remember exactly where it is. It's in one of my decks somewhere.
Oh, are you sure it's not Yarok?
Oh, maybe it is in Yarok. No, it is in Yarok. Yeah, sorry, it is. Because I can buy back my ETBs with that in Yarok and then get double ETBs. I mean, yeah, sure, it's definitely in there. 100%. 100%, because it's so good.
Far Out, man.
Far Out, man is exactly correct, Paul. What a segue. Man, he did it. 10 out of 10 segue. What are you, Bob Saget? Anyway, Far Out, man, 100% is our next secret layer. We have 5 more cards to talk about here. They all come in borderless, and they all come in either foil or non-foil, because that's how wizards do this. We get a Aether Gust, Counterspell, Fabricate, Fact or Fiction, and Mystical Tutor.
Again, this is I'm going to compare a lot of these to the Arcane Secret Lair, because that was the first one we talked about where I used this comparison. But you're talking about a foil borderless Mystical Tutor, right? Mm-hmm. Not something that crops up every day. And the art on these is like actually gorgeous. So pretty sure for Mystical Tutor alone, worth the price tag. May as well get 4 other cards with it, 3 of which are like heavily played in Commander, as well as certain other formats. Aether Gust, not so much, but Counterspell, Fabricate, and Fact or Fiction, yes please. I play these cards all the time. They're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Counterspell just got printed into Modern as well, so why not slip this into your Modern deck?
Yeah, Fact or Fiction, just a really fun, cool politics card to play in Commander that also gives you a lot of cards.
Never resolve a Fact or Fiction in front of Paul and pick Paul, because it's always 0 and 5, and it's really bad.
Well, you always want to pick me.
No, because sometimes you don't want to give someone 0 and 5, Paul. Like, oh, here's like 5 really good cards, and I'm going to give them to you because that's what's going to happen, and the rest of the table just goes.
Well, they can't use them all in the same turn.
No, but they'll eventually come back to bite you in the butt. This is why you lose so many games of Magic, because you try to have fun and chaos.
Fabricate also Fabricate also a really good reprint here because that card was actually creeping up a bit in price.
Yeah, it's about $8.
Hasn't seen a reprint in quite some time.
So I think the only card in here that I haven't seen before in a game of EDH is Aether Gust. Everything else I've seen end play because I play Counterspell in almost every deck that has blue because, I mean, it's just fantastic. Fabricate, played in decks that need artifacts. Fact or Fiction, again, it's just fantastic card draw. And Mystical Tutor, I think right now for a 6th edition non-foil, because that's the thing, white border is like 18 to $20. And that's the old, I mean, that's what you're able to find. I think I got mine for like 16. I got a mad deal on mine.
And I think even like the Jace Spellbook one is like $12, which is considered the worst one of them all for some reason.
Yeah. But the artwork on this Mystical Tutor and the rest of the Secret Lair is just, it is super on point and I love it so much.
Yeah, not to mention that maybe this will lead to more people playing Aether Gust because they want to play a cool looking card in their deck. Like, it's not even that bad in Yarok or Cullen where you can just bounce one of your ETBs back to your hand and get rid of like an opponent's commander, put it back in their hand if they're attacking you or something.
I mean, you're not wrong on that one, actually. And Yarok does want to buy back a lot of good ETBs. And I know like lower end builds of Chilean would do the same thing. Mine's like Mana Dork Tribal.
Oh yeah, of course.
Mine's been classified as CEDH by Dylan from Play to Win. So maybe
me too.
Are you also from Play to Win?
No, I just I know a deck when I see one.
Yeah, I mean, I know it. Didn't want to say anything. I don't think it is. I still think it has a long way to go. But anyway, just 5 fantastic cards with like out of this world artwork. And who knows what the 6th card is going to be. So if it even comes with one, it's fantastic. But
yeah, Far Out Man it's just a win-win situation. You can't really lose, unlike this next Secret Lair.
I mean, you can lose, or maybe it's heads I win, tails you lose.
Whatever, just take the segue, all right?
I did take the segue. I did. All right, so the last one we have here, we left it for last because it is the biggest hot red take, whatever you want to call it. It's the hot-blooded issue. Topic, I guess, is more of a probably better descriptive word for it because it's not an issue, it's more of a topic that I don't think anyone's really talking about yet on Twitter. I haven't seen it much or had a chance to chat to Gavin about it or anything. And that is the Secret Lair called Heads I Win, Tails You Lose. This is Gavin's whole Zender Split and Occam decks. This is a 100 card singleton commander deck Secret Lair that comes with, what is it, like 50 foils or so? I think
50 foils, 50 non-foils.
Yeah, and there's, what's this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, which are reversible. So you get 10 unique pieces of artwork spread across 5 cards. So I'm going to explain how that works in 2 seconds. So we get a reversible foil borderless of all these cards. It's Zender Split, Eye of Wisdom, Okan, Eye of Chaos, which is the partner commanders, which gives you Izzet commanders, Propaganda, any way a British man has a look at something, Stitch in Time, and Croc's Thumb. So what this is because they're reversible, they have the same card on both sides. They're not MDFCs, they're not flip cards or anything. They're Zender Split, Eye of Wisdom on the face front and on the reverse side, just with totally different, unique artwork. So you get to kind of pick which one you want to put on the stack, whichever way you want it, because it doesn't matter which way you put it, because it's the same dang card, or just slip it in whichever way you want it. We had the Stitch in Time artwork. One of the artworks for that one leaked. I don't know if it was leaked, but they did a survey on what kind of artwork we wanted in the future, and that was one of the cards that popped up was the artwork for Stitch in Time. So I'm thinking that's got a lot of positive reviews back from it. But this kind of brings up a topic that I wanted to talk about because I had a small discussion about this in the Commander Crew Discord server when it came out. And that is the precedent that this is going to start setting with Wizards if this sells as well as we think it's going to. Because it is $100 for a 50% foiled EDH deck. And it's not a precon because this is out of Gavin's personal stash. This is a deck that he's played. This is a deck that I've watched him play, and I haven't played against it yet. But he played it on stream like a stream with Corey and the rest of the Commander crew that I got to watch. And then I think their video's up on YouTube, so go and check that one out if you want to see how this deck is played as well. Yeah, it comes with a coin to flip as well. It comes with like this really cool like deck box. But my thought about this one is going to be, what happens if if this sells well and Wizards goes, well, that sold really well. Let's go back to like 2017 and do one of the 2017 Commander decks. Or let's go back and get a Traxxas and start selling the Breed Lethality deck, but in all new fancy art, charging $100.
So here's the thing, right? First of all, I don't think that they would take already known precons and just reprint them, because that's just reprinting the precon. I feel like they're gonna, and they still make precons, at least for right now they do. I feel like that they're gonna keep this as an avenue to print like truly unique decks that people actually play and have made and have worked on. You know, like here's Gavin's. Maybe soon, or not, maybe not soon, but at some point we'll get like a deck from David McDarby. Maybe we'll get a deck from Craig Jones. Maybe we'll get a deck from Mark Rosewater himself. You know, like the possibilities are really limitless. And honestly, I really love this idea. I don't think it sets a bad precedent. I think it sets a really good one. I think this is a great way, like for someone who's just getting into the game. I think it's way better than a precon, because it's like I said, it's a deck that somebody's actually taken the time to work through, build, play over and over, refine, and this is the result. You know, there's no like edgy mana bases. Like this deck has Temple of Epiphany, Wandering Fumarole. It's got Is It Boilerworks? It's got Path to Ancestry. It's got Academy Runes. It's got Cascade Bluffs. It's got Shivan Reef. It's got Sulphur Falls, Teleria West. Training Center is in the deck.
Wow, Training Center's in the deck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's got Commander's Plate, Shadow Spear, Embercleave. Like, okay.
I mean, okay, so I will say this. They did depower the deck for the Secret Lair. Because I believe the original deck list has like Mana Crypt in it, and some of the swords or all of the swords, or at least like the original 5 swords. So Feast and Famine, Fire and Ice, Light and Shadow. I can do this. War and Peace. And there's one I'm missing and I can't remember what it is. And everyone who's listening to this is probably screaming at me because that's what happens. Paul, what's the last one?
Truth and Justice. I don't know.
Isn't Truth? No, Truth and Justice wasn't the original. Maybe it's just those 4. Anyway.
Oh, you're talking about the original? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. There's Body of Mine.
That's not the
Fire
original.
and Ice. What?
But wait, is Body of Mine from the original set?
Yeah, it's the green-blue one.
That Mills?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought that was from Modern Horizons 1.
No.
Oh, no, that was
Truth and Justice and Sinew and Steel were the Modern Horizons.
Yeah. You're right. Anyway, like, that's what I'm saying here. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, they did challenge. They do challenger decks for people to get into. Like, what's that format for? Like Pioneer, I believe that's for, or something, or like something. I mean,
Pioneer.
I can see this being like a fantastic idea, and I know you love it so much. I'm very warious and kind of worried about how much Wizards think they're going to be able to get past us as a community fan base of their game. Because I mean, look at the way that Secret Lairs just kind of started trickling out when we first started getting them, and now it's like there is 8 coming up in the next 10 days, and they're all like foil and non-foil and like etched foils as well. And like, not only is there like so many different ways to get product, there's so many different ways to get Secret Lairs now as well. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing if you want to get that, like this premium product that kind of, you know, gives you different art to what everyone else has in their decks. There's a lot of Secret Lairs coming up that we didn't talk about because they're all just like basic lands, like they're like Dracula themed lands or like pixel lands, and we didn't want to talk about like here's a Secret Lair that you get, spend $30 or $40, get one of each basic land. You know, you get a forest, swamp, island, mountain, and a plains. Ooh, excellent. Someone's gonna yell at me for not saying them in Wurborg order. I can feel it. But yeah, I'm just, again, like, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I know how much you love this, and I love that it's Gavin's deck, and I know that I love it that it's a deck that I've seen being played, and I love it and everything, but I'm very worried that we're going to see more showcase decks popping up more and more if this one sells like I think it's going to.
This one is absolutely going to sell like hotcakes. I promise you that. And honestly, I think people are like kind of jumping the gun on this one. I think people are just a little hesitant to... I think people don't like Secret Lairs to begin with, right? But I'm okay with Wizards doing stuff like this. Like, you don't have to buy it if you don't want to. No one's forcing you to. You know, I think the big problem will be, and we'll have to deal with this if it ever happens, if they do this in lieu of precons. That I do not think is a good idea.
Or what if they're like, so take this, like, just like feed on this fuel of thought for a second. What if they did like, you know how we've gotten regular draft boosters, which are for drafters. We've gotten set boosters, which is for commander players, because let's be honest, that's where you get all the flashy, fancy looking stuff from the set. But then you also have like collector's boosters, which they're not doing so much from what I see there. I've seen them more push set boosters than they did collector's boosters. So maybe collector's boosters are kind of fallen off the wayside and no one's really picking those up because of the price tag on them for a standard set. So what if they were to do a regular precon and a premium precon? So that, let's say $25 gets you a regular precon like you did for every other set, like the 97 reprints and 3 brand new cards that they did for, you know, Commander Legends, Kaldheim, the ones that have just come out in Midnight Hunt, and the one coming up for Crimson Vow, which I guess came out yesterday for us, time of recording. You know, what if they did like $25 for a regular precon and then say $40 or like $35 for a fully blinged out foil version of that deck with maybe the commander and the 3 other cards come with like special reversible flip art?
I don't know. I feel like there's not really a whole lot you can say about. I think that when this becomes a regular thing, and I'm pretty sure it will, I think that much like Secret Lairs have kind of just been, you know, ingratiated into our lives, I think that this too will have the same result. But I don't think there's really much that I can say to convince anybody who's not convinced right now.
Yeah, I just feel like, not to end this episode on a bit of a bum note, but I feel like there is going to be so much like FOMO around this, like this product, if it ever goes away, that I'm like kind of thinking it's going to, and that's like the fear of missing out. Because, you know, like not everyone's going to be able to afford this Secret Lair. Maybe there's going to be people who miss out on the heads I win, tail you lose, or any of these Secret Lairs we talked about today. And then have that fear of being like, well, you know, Magic's turning into more of a collectible game over an actual card game, where it used to be. Like, I feel like the days of old where Magic was, you just buy a 15 card booster pack and you get 15 cards. Yes, you pull the cards you want, you don't pull the cards that you want, and you move on. You get them in foil and non-foil, and that's it. Like, there's no like extended art, retro framed art, yada yada yada, all these different kinds of versions of the one card. I feel like, yeah, like if they take that like that premise and they make it into a sealed product, like you've got like regular, premium, and then like premium commander decks, I don't know if that's going to be handled well by the community, and maybe it will be. I mean, maybe I'm just the odd one out who kind of sees this as like a like not a problem, but something that's going to be like you said, like grayscaled into our Magic lives from now on.
Here's the thing, and this will be the last thing I say about this. We've talked about some lairs today that are $30-$40 for like 5 cards, and I was like, wow, what a great deal. So obviously at $1 a card for $100 for a 100-card deck where half of them are foil and pretty much every single one of them is a really solid reprint, I'm gonna say it's a great idea. This, like, I don't understand how people would be not okay with the precedent that this sets when they're selling 5 foil basic lands for $40.
Oh, I didn't want to get into that discussion because I knew I was going to have a lot to say about that. And that's not something that I'm openly willing to say on air, that I won't just say to you like off air, you know, because I have a lot of opinions on them selling 5 lands for $40. I just, that blows my mind. But anyway, I guess that might have been a little bit of inside knowledge to why I feel the way about the $100 for 100 cards. And like, I don't think it's a bad deal whatsoever. I mean, the artwork is fantastic. Like, you look at the Croc's thumb and you look at the stitch in time, and even the commanders, man, like they're awesome. Like, they bang out job on all the artwork. I'm just worried and concerned about the future of the format if we keep seeing more premium products being produced for our format.
Yeah, that's already been a thing for a while, but like, I think only time will tell. I think we'll just have to deal with that when it happens.
And I mean, that's very true. And on that note, if anyone out there wants to continue this discussion with us or has your own opinions that you want voiced, you can get at us on Twitter and Instagram at CMDR@arms. If you want to pick up any of these Secret Lairs, do that on the Wizards website. Like I said, they're pre-ordering either now when this episode goes live, or they're going to be pre-ordering very, very shortly. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Go like, comment, and subscribe over there. It is youtube.com/commanderatarms. If you want to pick up any singles sealed products that aren't Secret Lairs, maybe you want to pick up a Crimson Vow Commander deck or Crimson Vow set booster box or anything, use our TCG affiliate link. That will get you your stuff shipped directly to your door, and it will support local game stores, as well as giving us a small amount of kickback over here to help us produce more content for you. You can do that at tcgplayer.com/commanderatarms, and we have merch. I cannot stress this enough. We have merch, and I love my merch shirt. It is a Commander at Arms shirt on a Bella canvas. Go and check out the link in the show notes or the description below. It'll take you to the Etsy page that hosts our Commander shirts. It is Bad Fred Design Co. It has our Commander at Arms shirt. They just started doing wooden deck boxes, which is really cool. I actually have 6 of them sitting on my desk right now. 3 of them I got for my birthday. 2 of them are the ones that we sell on the Etsy, or that she sells on the Etsy store, and another one is one that I was given last year. So go and check those out. I know, with everything else going on and stuff, like, these deck boxes are like legit. If you want to support the show directly and help us out to get more content out to you, you can do that through patreon.com/commanderatarms. And with that, Paul, do you have any final thoughts that you want to say to our listeners and viewers?
Yes, I know it's been a while since you've all heard this, but here we go. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Even if this is the first and last episode you ever have or ever will listen to, it means a lot to me and James that you took the time out of your day to do so. Time is fleeting. We don't have a lot of it. And the fact that you took even just 5 minutes to sit down and listen to a little bit of what we have to say, it really means a lot to us. So thank you for doing that. If you happen to enjoy what you just heard, or watched, I guess, if you're on YouTube, please feel free to share our name around with your friends, with your playgroups. Say, hey, I was just listening to these guys, James and Paul. They have a podcast called Commander at Arms. They were talking about these Secret Lairs. I didn't know that that Gavin's deck was loaded with like crazy cards for only $1 a piece. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick that up. I didn't know that there was like a reversible or a mirror printed collectible Visceraseer going around. Whatever the case may be, just get our name out there. Talking with the community is one of the best parts about being a part of said community. So the more people that know about us, the better. And just thank you for listening and being here all this time in general.
And with that, I'm James.
And I'm Paul.
And you've been listening to the newest episode of the Commander at Arms podcast. And remember to arm yourself with knowledge. Peace.
See ya.